Hey everybody, I'm Ron Allen with HealthyAndSharp.com. In the last video, we talked about how detox symptoms can crop up when you start changing habits to become more healthy, and especially when losing fat. Now, as promised, in this video, we're going to start going over food labels and how to make better food choices. So I'm going to start by talking about fat. Fat is actually a needed macronutrient. Certain vitamins would be impossible to metabolize without it. Also, brain matter and cell walls are mostly made of fat, and without enough of the proper fats in your diet, inflammation would get much worse. But I know that since the 70s, and you've probably heard this too, dietary fats have been the bad guy. They've been blamed for superficial weight gain, serious issues like high cholesterol and heart disease. But it's interesting to note that since more low-fat, no-fat foods and diets have been available, the obesity epidemic has gotten much worse. Now, the Inuit people traditionally ate a diet very high in fat by today's standards, like 70%, but they were healthy, okay? No heart disease, and they were thin and fit. So what's the deal? Well, the truth is, or my take on it is, high fat intake was never the problem. It was the kind of fat. Two kinds of fat clog up your metabolism and cause you not only to gain weight, but also cause nasty health problems too. The culprits are saturated fat and trans fat. Saturated fat, mainly from animal sources, are a problem because remember in the last video I told you mammals store toxins in their fat cells. When you eat animal fat, that's what you're getting. Now don't worry about cutting it all out of your diet because you're never going to get it all. Just here's what you do. Just choose lean cuts of meat, trim the extra, and get your meat from wild sources like grass-fed beef or bison, free-range chicken, and wild-caught fish. And with chicken, take the skin off because that's where all the fat is. You can cook with coconut oil, which is actually high in saturated fat, but it's from a plant source, and actually coconut oil has many health benefits. Saturated fat is usually listed right on the food label, so just look for it and choose foods that are lower in saturated fat, especially from animal sources. Trans fat's the other troublemaker. Now, trans fat is a man-made fat. Okay, it's made from vegetable oils that have been hydrogenated. That's a process that turns them into a solid. Margarine and shortening are good examples of this. Trans fat remains stable in landfills for years. Okay, that's because it's designed to resist breakdown. Okay, now it's interesting to note that if the germs can't break it down, okay, we can't break it down either because the processes, the cells break down the energy these molecules much the same way as a microorganism like a germ or a bacteria would do. So this stuff is almost like plastic. And if you don't believe me, put your margarine out on the counter and see if the bugs will eat it. They won't. They won't go near it. Now, the trans fats are deceiving, okay, because the labels may say no trans fat, but all that means is the serving size is so small that the FDA allows that, okay. Cool Whip is almost all trans fat, okay, but on the label it says no trans fat because the serving size is so small. I mean, that's just, to me, that's dishonest, but that's how they do it. Here's what you do. Look for hydrogenated or partially hydrogenated oils on the label, and that's how you tell if trans fats are present. Okay. And that really wraps up our video for today. That's our first lesson on reading food labels and picking better foods at the supermarket. We're going to do several more videos on this subject, and beyond that, of course, we're going to be doing more. So please stay tuned for more to come, and thanks for watching.